This is how to install the Noctua NH-D15 G2 LBC cooler, the variant specialized for the surface of AMD's AM4 and AM5 CPUs. In my case, I will be using an AM5 motherboard. AM4 is slightly different, but otherwise much the same. I'm assuming you've already installed the CPU. If not, please do that. For ease of installation, it's best to mount the cooler to the motherboard before installing it in your case. The box contains the actual heatsink with two fans already mounted, along with a box of accessories. For this installation, you want to take the included screwdriver, thermal paste, plastic guard, and bag of assorted parts for AMD sockets. Remove the heatsink from the bag, and remove the protective cardboard from the center. Keep it in case you need to ship this cooler again. Keep the protective plastic piece on the heatsink surface until you're ready to mount it. Turning focus to the motherboard, remove the stock mounting clips with a Phillips head screwdriver. If you're using an AM4 board, the mounting backplate will come loose, so you'll need to hold it in place for the next step. For AM5 boards, the backplate will remain affixed, so you don't have to worry about it. Place 4 gray spacers at the mounting holes. Then take the mounting bar labeled North. It should be distinguished by its notch. There are 2 pairs of mounting holes here. The normal pair, labeled 0, and the offset pair, labeled -7mm. For all Ryzen CPUs based on AM5, as well as AM4 CPUs from the Ryzen 3000 and 5000 series, you should insert the screws into the offset pair. Place the bar over the 2 top spacers, positioning the holes you need to use over them. Hold the bar in place and take 2 Torx screws. Partially fasten them with your fingers just to keep the bar in place. Then, either using the included Torx screwdriver or your own screwdriver with the correct bit, secure the screws completely. Do not apply excessive force. Repeat this procedure with the south bar, which is distinguished by its smaller plain rectangular shape. You must match the offset you use to mount the north bar. After securing the mounting bars, the rest is straightforward. In case your CPU surface has collected any dust, use a lint-free cloth to wipe it off. A dry coffee filter can work. This cooler includes a Noctua NA-TPG1, which is a simple thermal paste guard for AM5 CPUs that will prevent thermal paste from falling off the awkward shape of the heat spreader. Don't worry, it won't melt even at full load, as it can withstand temperatures up to 130 degrees Celsius, well above the limit of the 7950X, 9950X, and other CPUs. Place this guard on the CPU. It should fit flush through the heat spreader on all sides and sit on top of the socket's frame. The manual advises a 5-dot application, 4 outer dots of about 2 mm in size, and an inner dot of about 3 to 4 mm. You could also try another application method or use your own compound if you prefer. I'm pretty sure the dots I applied are larger than they should be, although I personally haven't experienced adverse effects from too much thermal paste so far. If you find you are not getting good temperature readings under load, you'll need to remove the heatsink and thermal paste, then try again with a new application. Also, the misfortune of relying on autofocus is a damning sign I need a portable monitor for my camera. At the heatsink, you'll need to temporarily remove the center fan. It's secured with a couple of clips. Pull them out and away, and they should come off free. Pull the fan out from the center of the heatsink. It has some protective paper in place. Carefully remove this using the tabs. You'll also want to remove the protective paper from the other fan affixed to the other side of the heatsink. Now you can mount the heatsink to the motherboard. You may want to wipe its contact surface if you see dust on it. This matters because dust can potentially interfere with thermal transfer. The currently mounted fan should be sitting at the right side of the motherboard, so the fans will push hot air out through the rear side of the case. Align the 2 screws with the protruding threads on the mounting bars. Using the Torx screwdriver, screw in one side a little bit, then start screwing in the other side. You want to alternate between the two so one screw isn't pushing the heatsink down to one side too far. Keep screwing them in until they stop. Do not apply excessive force. Next, you need to insert the center fan back in place. Mind the braces. They should be facing the left heatsink. As with any fans, these braces are where air will be blown towards. Secure the fan to the heatsink by pulling in the middle clips. Then, plug the two fans into your motherboard's PWM headers. A note: if you will be using tall memory modules, such as those which have RGB lighting, you can remove the fan, install your memory, then remount the fan at a slightly higher position. Once you have the computer ready, turn it on. Use a thermal monitoring program to check that your CPU's temperature is within the expected range at idle and under load. Bye.